Roman Reigns just did the unthinkable on Friday Night SmackDown, attacking Drew McIntyre in a moment that has the entire wrestling world asking, what just happened? What is going on, Suplex Rumble Nation? Welcome back to the place for the most explosive wrestling coverage on YouTube. If you're just joining us, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because after what we just witnessed on SmackDown, you're going to want to be here for every single update. Today, we're breaking down one of the most shocking moments in recent WWE history, an attack that nobody saw coming, that makes absolutely no sense on the surface, but could actually be the beginning of something massive for the future of WWE. Let's dive in. Alright, let's set the stage for those who might have missed Friday Night SmackDown or need a refresher on how we got to this absolutely insane moment. Drew McIntyre has been on an absolute warpath lately. The Scottish Warrior has been cutting promos that could melt steel, talking about his journey, his redemption, and his undeniable claim to championship opportunities. He's been vocal, he's been intense, and he's been making it crystal clear that he's done playing politics and he's ready to take what he believes is rightfully his. Now, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, has been in his own world of dominance. We're talking about a man who has held championship gold with an iron grip, who has decimated challenger after challenger, and who has built an empire around his bloodline faction. Here's what made Friday night so bizarre: these two weren't feuding. There was no build-up. There were no heated exchanges. Drew was actually scheduled to address the SmackDown audience about his future plans, and Roman wasn't even advertised to appear in that segment. The WWE Universe was expecting Drew to possibly call out his next opponent, maybe continue his rivalry with another superstar, or make some kind of major announcement about his championship aspirations. What we got instead was something nobody could have predicted. So here's how it all went down, wrestling fans. Drew McIntyre's music hit, and the crowd absolutely erupted. The Scottish Warrior made his way to the ring with that intense, focused energy that he's become known for. He grabbed the microphone and started delivering what was shaping up to be an absolutely fire promo about respect, about earning opportunities, and about how he's been overlooked for far too long despite everything he's accomplished. The crowd was hanging on every word. Drew was in that zone, you know what I'm talking about, where a superstar is so locked in that you can feel the electricity through your screen. He talked about his journey from his first WWE run to his return and becoming WWE champion during the pandemic era. He talked about performing in empty arenas, about sacrificing for the business, and about how he deserves to be in the conversation for the top championships in WWE. And then, boom, the music hit. Roman Reigns' theme song blasted through the arena, and the entire building went absolutely nuclear. The head of the table appeared at the top of the ramp with that look on his face, you know, the look that says somebody's about to get wrecked. Drew's expression immediately shifted. He wasn't scared. Drew McIntyre doesn't do fear, but you could see the wheels turning. Why was Roman out there? What was about to happen? Roman slowly made his way down to the ring, methodically, calculating every step. The tension in the arena was suffocating. Commentary was losing their minds trying to figure out what was happening. The crowd was going back and forth between cheering and gasps of anticipation. Drew stood his ground in the center of the ring, microphone still in hand, staring directly at the tribal chief. And that's when it happened. Roman entered the ring, and for a moment, just a moment, it looked like maybe, just maybe, this was going to be a face-to-face confrontation. A verbal exchange between two of the most dominant forces in WWE. Instead, Roman exploded. A Superman punch out of nowhere sent Drew staggering backward. The microphone went flying. And before Drew could even fully recover, Roman was all over him with a level of aggression we haven't seen from the tribal chief in quite some time. The assault was relentless, calculated, and absolutely brutal. We're talking about strikes, power moves, and a clear message being sent to not just Drew McIntyre, but to the entire WWE roster. The attack culminated with Roman delivering his signature spear that nearly broke Drew in half. The impact echoed through the arena, and the crowd's reaction was a mixture of shock, awe, and complete disbelief. Roman stood over Drew's fallen body, raised his hand in that iconic acknowledgement gesture, and his music hit again as he exited the ring, leaving absolute chaos in his wake. The immediate aftermath was just as crazy as the attack itself. Medical personnel rushed to the ring to check on Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior was down but not out, because let's be real, it takes more than one attack to keep Drew down for good. But the message had been sent, loud and clear. Social media absolutely exploded within seconds. Twitter was trending worldwide with multiple hashtags. Wrestling fans from every corner of the globe were typing in all caps, sharing their shock, their theories, and their absolute disbelief at what they just witnessed. Commentary was scrambling to make sense of it all. The announcers were throwing out questions rapid fire. Why did Roman attack Drew? What provoked this? Is this personal? Is this strategic? What does this mean for both SmackDown and the championship picture? Backstage interviews immediately started happening. Other WWE superstars were shown watching monitors, their faces showing the same confusion and concern that we all felt. Some were shaking their heads, others were smirking like they knew something we didn't. The wrestling world demanded answers, and as of right now, we still don't have the full picture, but that's what makes this so absolutely compelling. Okay, Suplex Rumble family, let's put on our detective hats and try to figure out the why behind this shocking attack. Theory number 1, preemptive strike. Roman Reigns didn't become the tribal chief by being reactive, he's always been proactive. Is it possible that Roman saw Drew's momentum building and decided to squash a potential threat before it became a real problem? Think about it, Drew McIntyre is a former WWE champion, he's beloved by the fans, he has the physical tools to compete with anyone, and he was clearly building towards something big. Roman might have decided that the best time to strike was now, before Drew could build even more momentum. In the world of professional wrestling, sometimes the best defense is a devastating offense. Theory number 2, the bloodline connection. Could this attack have something to do with the ongoing bloodline saga? We know that family is everything to Roman Reigns. Is it possible that Drew said something or did something that was perceived as disrespect to the bloodline? Maybe in a previous promo or backstage segment that we didn't see, Drew inadvertently crossed a line? With Roman, it doesn't take much. He's made it clear time and time again that any disrespect toward him or his family will be met with swift and brutal consequences. Theory number 3, championship positioning. Here's where things get really interesting. Both Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre are main event level superstars. Both have legitimate claims to championship opportunities. Both are positioned as top guys on the roster. Could WWE be setting up a massive collision course between these two titans? Could this attack be the spark that ignites one of the biggest rivalries of the year? Imagine the promos. Imagine the physical matches. Imagine the money that a properly built Roman Reigns vs. Drew McIntyre program could generate. Theory number 4, outside influence. And here's the conspiracy theory angle, what if someone else orchestrated this? What if someone whispered in Roman's ear, manipulated the situation, or provided information that led Roman to believe Drew needed to be dealt with? We've seen it before in wrestling, master manipulators working behind the scenes, pulling strings, creating chaos for their own benefit. Could there be a puppet master behind this attack that we haven't identified yet? Now let's talk about what comes next, because if there's one thing we know about Drew McIntyre, it's that he does not take attacks lying down. Drew is a warrior in every sense of the word. He's battled back from career setbacks, he's overcome obstacles that would have ended lesser competitors, and he's proven time and time again that he thrives when backed into a corner. This attack by Roman Reigns might be the biggest mistake the tribal chief has ever made, because he just unleashed a level of motivation in Drew McIntyre that could be absolutely unstoppable. Here's what I think we can expect. Drew is going to demand retribution. He's going to want Roman Reigns one-on-one in that ring. He's going to cut promos that will give you goosebumps. And he's going to make it his mission to prove that Roman made a critical error in judgment. The Scottish warrior has the skills, the experience, and the sheer willpower to go toe-to-toe with the tribal chief. This could easily evolve into a blood feud, the kind of rivalry that defines careers and creates WrestleMania moments. Can you imagine these two in a main event setting? The storytelling possibilities are endless. We could get everything from singles matches to stipulation matches to potential multi-man scenarios if the bloodline gets involved. The creative opportunities here are absolutely incredible. Let's zoom out and look at how this attack impacts the entire Smackdown brand moving forward. First and foremost, this shakes up the entire main event scene. The hierarchy just got scrambled. Superstars who thought they knew where they stood now have to reconsider everything. Second, this creates ripple effects throughout the roster. If Roman Reigns is willing to attack Drew McIntyre unprovoked, who's safe? What other superstars might find themselves in the tribal chief's crosshairs? Third, this could trigger a domino effect of alliances and rivalries. Will other superstars rally behind Drew? Will the bloodline get more involved? Will we see new factions forming in response to this aggression? The general managers and authority figures in WWE now have to address this situation. There will likely be consequences, stipulations, and official matches made as a result of this attack. And perhaps most importantly, this reminds us why we love professional wrestling. This is the unpredictability, the shock value, the anything can happen nature of WWE that keeps us tuning in week after week. When was the last time you saw something on wrestling television that genuinely surprised you? That made you jump out of your seat? That had you immediately texting your wrestling friends saying, "Did you just see that?" That's the magic, folks. That's why we're all